Hello, my name is Nell, and I have things to say. I like to think that I'm pretty wise, for the most part. I'm a wise old owl, and I learn life lessons. I'm pretty good at learning life lessons. I look at myself, I look at my behavior, I look at my mistakes. I try to figure out where I've gone wrong, how I can correct myself. I work hard in therapy. I do a lot of thinking about how to better myself and how to break out of bad patterns and get into good patterns. But funny thing about the human brain is it's kind of dumb. And it doesn't always absorb those lessons. You think you've absorbed it, and then you realize later that you're learning the same lesson because it didn't stick the last time. I have an example of that today, which I found kind of comical. For reference, I've been keeping a blog on WordPress for the past 7 years. There's a link for it down in the description if you feel like reading some. And I haven't been writing in there as much in recent years, partly because it became more difficult for me to write, and then I was focusing more on doing these videos. But I recently did a blog post about how I put so much pressure on myself to write and to produce that the pressure stops me from actually writing or producing anything. It's just this very frustrating catch-22. And I was like, yeah, I've really discovered, something cool. Like I've delved deep in this one and learned a big lesson. But then I was reading back through my blog from the beginning, and I noticed something in another blog post that sounded kind of familiar. I'm going to read you some excerpts from my blog, and let's see if we can see some similar patterns. I've been thinking about posting an update multiple times over the past fortnight, but I just haven't had the motivation or momentum. That's the weird thing about projects and purpose. When you don't have any, it's one of the main things you want. But once you have it, you can't help but feel the pressure. I suppose it's why I struggle to do much writing in general these days. I am so afraid of failing that I just don't even bother getting started. Hey, if you don't try, you can't fail, right? Excerpt number 2. It's been something I've been struggling with since starting my blog. Hell, I've been struggling with it since childhood, in every hobby and pastime I pursue. I choose to do something, no one asks me to do it, I choose it. I then create such complex rules and expectations around that thing that I feel overwhelmed and constantly afraid of failing. It's procrastination, but it doesn't stem from laziness, it stems from fear of failure. I am so scared of failing that I'd rather not try. These two blog posts are 7.5 years apart. In 2016, I wrote, I'm so afraid of failing that I just don't even bother getting started. If you don't try, you can't fail. In 2021, I write, I'm so scared of failing that I'd rather not try. Brain, come on. You've done this before. Why didn't it stick? But that's the thing. When we learn life lessons, it's not a one and done. We have to keep learning. We have to keep exercising those same things. If you learn a lesson, that doesn't mean you've checked it off there and now that part of you is improved forever and it's fine. You do need to just keep relearning the same lessons. When they say, hey, it's like riding a bike, you'll always remember. No, you forget how to ride a bike. Your muscles lose their muscle memory if you don't practice. And I just think it's so funny that at the beginning of my blog and at the most recent point in my blog, I was learning the same lessons. And all those years ago, I probably didn't realize that I would still be struggling with it. But it's okay to keep struggling with things. It's okay if the lesson doesn't quite stick, because guess what? When you eat a meal, that fulfills you then. But if you don't eat again, you're going to get hungry. You need to continue giving yourself sustenance, and self-growth is the same. You need to continually feed it so that it can continue to be strong and it continue to strengthen even further. So that's my little adventure in relearning the same lessons all over again. Maybe in another 7 years I will be writing something very similar. And if I do, that's okay. It doesn't mean that I haven't learned. It just means that I have to keep working on it. That's all. Alright. Thank you for watching. like, share, and subscribe. Should I start doing that? Because, like, you know, if you know somebody who you think would benefit from this, feel free to share the video with them. That would be cool. Yeah. Okay, that's all for today. Bless.